Hello and welcome to History of Computing Technology. My name's Chris Griffin. Today I'm going to be talking about the man who created the calculating engine, of course, Charles Babbage. Here we go. Let me hit that play button right there. As you see, father of computing technology. Okay. Charles Babbage, born 1791, died 1871. Son of a London banker. So he was always good with numbers, always round numbers, and he always wanted to find a different way of calculating numbers, a more efficient way of doing so. He went to Trinity College in Cambridge, Luscasian professorship, sorry if I mispronounced that, and mathematician and scientist. He really wanted to know how the world worked and put everything in an order. Difference engine, what he's most famous for, is his calculating difference engine. 1822, planned for calculating and printing mathematical tables like they were used in the Navy. This was more, the Navy used it more for navigation because they had to be great with numbers in order to realize where on the map they were. Using methods of difference based on polynomial functions, this was, sorry, my cat's in the way. This was basically used for computing large sums of numbers without having to write it down or do it in your head. Difference engine, 1822, designed 6 decimal places with single order or second order difference. In 1830, engine with 20 decimal places and a 6th order difference. This is only a span of 8 years that it's different, and he's already improved his design. 1830 as well, end of work on the difference engine because of a dispute with his chief engineer. This was mostly about money, how much it was taking to build this engine, and the engineer kind of lost faith in his design. The Analytical Engine, 1834, 4 years after. Plans for the improved device capable of calculating any mathematical function. Increase of calculating speed, because by then it was crank, 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 and you had to crank it so many times in order to place your value. But it was never completed. It was about 90% done, and then people much further along in time saw his plans and decided to go ahead and build it. Analytical engine architecture. Separation of storage and calculations. Store and mill. You could have these punch cards that you would insert, and basically it would go ahead and calculate what was on the punch card. We call those operation cards, variable cards, number cards. Those were basically used to either store your calculations or to create new ones using multiple cards. More than 200 columns of gear trains and number wheels. This was so you could add very large and complex numbers together, multiply them, divide them, subtract them, do whatever you need to. 16 column register, store up to 2 numbers. 16 column is 16 numbers, so you can have 16 digits, and you can store up to 2 of those. 50 register columns with 40 decimal digits of precision. This was, once again, one of the most perfect calculators of the time. Now we have, calculators on our cell phones, but back then, this was the only way to calculate large sums of numbers, without doing it, like I said, on a piece of pencil or, in your head. Counting apparatus to keep track of repetitions. Cycle time 2.5 seconds to transfer a number from the store to a register in the mill. Addition was only 3 seconds. And conditional statements. Analytical engine. Here's a picture of the analytical engine. It shows how the gears would rotate, and this is how you would select your number. It was very mechanical, no electricity at the time, so everything had to be done with gears and mechanics. But he did find a way of doing this precise. First programmer, Ada Lovelace. I've always had a problem with her last name. Ada Lovelace, daughter of Lord Byron, was working with Babbage on the Analytical Engine. Babbage was more of the Einstein of the operation, while she was more of the support and influence. First ideas of algorithm representation in programming languages. Already realized program loops and conditional statements. She lived beyond her years because she found another way of thinking than Babbage did. Babbage meaning in history. John von Neumann from 1903 and 1957, universal computing machine consisting of memory, input-output, arithmetic logic, and a control unit, based on Babbage's designs. 95% of modern computers are based on this architecture. Even computers we use today, they all use this form. It's not a mechanical form anymore, it's digital, but it's the same form of computing. Babbage's meaning in history. Howard Aiken, 1900 from 1973, developed the ASCC computer, automatic sequence control calculator. Could carry out 5 operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, reference to previous results. Aiken was much influenced by Babbage's writings. He saw the ASCII, that's what I'm going to call it, computer as completing the task with Babbage and has set out but failed to complete. He wanted to condense this. He wanted to make it smaller and more functional. So he did. He went out there and he developed a calculator that everybody could use, not just somebody with a 5-ton machine in their garage. So, that is my presentation on the father of computing history, Mr. Charles Babbage. I thank you for watching, and have a great day.